or the podiums. So generally they do this. Even the Stella the Stork is also like that, but Larry the Leaning Tower does like this. Well, as we go along today, we will see this, and he always leans on this with very, very, what shall I say, very comfortable in his posture. And in one book I read that these are the university dons who have taken excessive alcohol the earlier day, and they fear that they will be sort of in their minds, it might go wrong, and then they will clench onto something that is available near them, and then they hold on. So these are leaning, Larry the Leaning Tower. And Stella the Stork is also like this. I've seen people like this, Stella the Stork. Kakulin Stork in, so Oka. Stella the Stork is like this, where you just use one leg and you still go on. See. So these are various body languages that we have. Postures. Gesturing is very important. Gesturing is important. But doing the gesture at the correct time is what matters. If you don't use gestures, you can't convey what you are saying. But convey it, gesture at the right time with the right word. If the gesturing comes a little bit later, then again the gesturing will be natural. So these are various ways of body languages, body language types. Then you have plan, prepare, polish, practice, present. The 5 P's you say. Plan, you prepare, you polish, you practice, and then you present. Because there is a famous saying, if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. If you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. That is an absolute golden saying, where if we do not prepare ourselves, you are bound to fail. The better you know your material, the less anxious you will be about presenting. We are thorough with our material. We know what you are going to say. And you are not anxious. What the hell I know this is all about? So who the hell can ask me questions and put me in trouble? And I know more than what they know. So that's where you must be very, very thorough with your material. Smile and act natural. Don't apologize for being nervous. No one will know you're nervous unless you call attention to it. Now sometimes I've heard people say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not fit enough to address you. This is my first time. And you do a self-confession, as if you are gone to a Catholic priest and do a self-confession. You say that, I'm sorry, and then the people know, your audience, then only they know that you are nervous. Otherwise they had not known. So don't say or confess that you are nervous. There are some golden rules, the 11 golden rules. I mean, we have already gone. I'll just go through them. You've spoken. So thank you, friends. I hope I would have given you a little bit of insight, some hints about public speaking. We will, in due course with Shavin, we will summarize this, and then we will send the participants salient points of the public speaking and my presentation. And with that, let me now introduce you my colleague from the International Federation of Red Cross, Mr. Mahesh Jolly. He's a journalist. He was a newscaster, news presenter at MTV Networks, and now the head of communications at the International Federation. So Mahesh, my pleasure to give you the floor. Thank you.
It would have given you a lot of insights about what public speaking is. When I started my public speaking career or learning, one of the people told me a good public speech is like a good short skirt. It should be long enough to cover the subject. If you very well know what is in regards to a short skirt, and it should be short enough to get the attention of the audience. So I think Suren must have given you all the necessary points in what you should do to make a good public speech. So please have your refreshments to give you some time till a little bit of time till we get things ready over here.
Communication presentation rather than making it me speaking and you listening. What I want to talk to you today is about effective communications, how to become a better communicator. You need to speak. You need to tell what you feel. You need to let the other person or your peers or your management or anyone in your organization, you need to know what you think. You need to have an opinion. So in this session, we'll try to share knowledge. We'll try to have a bit of fun. We'll do a little bit of role play. And we'll hopefully learn something new and take it home and apply that into our daily lives. So at the end of this session, what I'm trying to give you is what is good and bad communication, to give you a brief idea of what it is, what exactly that is, some basic skills to become a better communicator. If you have thoughts saying that I'm going to give you a big speech here or make a major life-changing this thing, that's not exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, you may already know what I'm going to speak about, but I want you to remind that to you so you can continuously think about it and better yourselves. To recognize and overcome barriers in communication, advantages of listening, to speak confidently like Mr. Suren spoke earlier on, and to communicate effectively. This is a research done recently in India. In a commanding position, you need to listen to your subordinates. That's how you get things done. You get their ideas, you get this. We do not try hard to get our message across. We say it, but do we really say it? How to become better. We do not take advantage of various media available to us. Everybody has mobile phones today, right? And how many has Facebook accounts? Only one person. Okay, 3. So everybody has Facebook. Twitter? Are you getting into the ways and means of Twitter? Twittering? Sending a tweet? No? No, that has been caught up in the Western world massively. You step out of the room, go to the toilet, I am in the toilet. That's what it is. They want to communicate, they want to tell it, especially actors and actresses and famous people. They do that all the time. And they have like millions and billions of people following them, exactly what they're doing. And I mean, we also can do the same thing. There is so much of latest technology available to us, which we do not exactly go into because either we think it's too technical for us, either it's too not friendly. A simple example. What would you use as a search engine, Google or Yahoo? Why? Why Google or married life and he doesn't like cricket? Okay, tell me which one is the false statement. Come, huh? I think he's your friend, so you don't have to say anything. Which one?
He dislikes cricket.
He dislikes cricket.
Yeah.
He dislikes cricket. That's a false statement. Is it correct?
Correct.
Obviously. It's just stating the obvious. Arnold runs his own business. He works at a voluntary service organization, but he hates voluntary service. I think it's pretty obvious. It's really last one. What do you all Exactly. Okay, so I hope you got an idea about how you communicate yourself, how you have to be credible in when you are delivering your listening. You can come up and say 1 million things, but doesn't have the weight to carry the credibility of it. I can't come here and speak to you today if I don't have the experience in communication. Might have really good ideas, So you need to be that. I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. Visually. I do, I understand. I do it, then you understand. Keep this in mind when you're communicating. Okay, I hear and I forget. Okay, if you're forgetting, then always write it down. I see and I remember. That's why I know in small days they say if you have a goal in life in front of your wall or something, and just you focus on that every day so you know it. I do and I understand. Because understanding is the key important part of a communication. Why? Because we come from various fields. What is the field you're working? Airline. So crucial, no? Crucial. They have to be. Are you on air or not? Ground. Still, you're providing a service. So you need to be crucial in. Okay, thank you very much. That's all what I have for you today.
Thank you very much for that very interesting and very informative presentation on communication skills. As I told you, this is a skill which is really lacking in Sri Lanka. Among the human resources that we have in Sri Lanka, communication skills, people say, is one of the things that really are lacking. People, when they come into an interview, they are so afraid to face an interview, they are afraid to tell what they can offer and afraid to tell what they want to be in life. So this is a big problem, and I'm sure you will look competent in dealing with these challenges. Being a global executive will only be a dream for most of us. So it is very lucky indeed, we are very privileged to have Dr. Mudita Senanayake, who is an expert in textile technologies, and he works with the major apparel industry players in Sri Lanka. So he has a very good knowledge on the workings of an executive in a global.
Very nice words. So as we plan, we'll try to do it interactive as much as we can. If you have any questions, first of all, it doesn't matter, as we already, our former speakers spoke about communication, right? It's a matter of conveying your message to whoever was teaching in terms of like an interactive session. You have to tell me what you do. So anything can do, right? He can do that. I think as global executives, you all can do anything. Anything can happen. Right? Sometimes they say anything can happen in America. Doesn't have to be in America. Anything can happen here. What are the things that we can see in a global executive? How can we become a global executive? What are the challenges we have? Executives, you all know executives. Like Sampath when I was doing my A-levels, and I just finished my A-levels, they were recruiting for executives just after A-levels. Sometimes they define executive probably at that time in a wrong manner, I suppose, because I don't think just after A-levels or school you will be an executive. Now I know. At that time, we all were trying to get into Sampath because it's executive, you're an executive, junior executive, it's executive. In America, if you're an executive, you're on the top level. You're making billions of dollar decisions if you're an executive. So I think misunderstood who this executive is, and Sampath brought this branding kind of approach to get people who are good students from A-levels to attract good people. So they brought this to those are skills. I mean, we listen to our former speakers talking about interpersonal skills, talking about presentation skills, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of things that we need to learn in order to become a global executive. But you can be a global executive with limited number of characteristics. Okay. So this is a book